All right, sir. We hear a northern caliphate rising to form a formidable force against the south. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu retaining a Muslim ticket and trying to break away the south-south from the southeast, leaving the southeast that has Peter Obi. What is happening?
Well, that is the question everybody's asking. What is happening? Because if you look at the political happenings now, you discover that it looks like Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not able to fulfill a certain agreement they had with the British government on the Islamization agenda that triggered in the first place, Muslim ticket before now. But for what is gathering now, I think the entire local structure, which is battling to add middle belt into it, seems to be building another fresh, political caliphate that would definitely, subdue the South. And Tinubu, in his confusion, trying to see how he's definitely going to win the election, has went further again to commit the same error, giving credibility to continuous fracturing, dismemberment, and decentralization and final balkanization of the entire Eastern Bloc. That is what it is. Remember, the mission is very clear. And you look at that article at this point in time, if you look at the article very well, article is more comfortable that, at the end of the day, there's likely that it's going to win the election. Because a new modern, a caliphate that the South, the middle belt are already battling to escape. I don't know how they're definitely going to come out of it, but Peter Obi, is trying to break forth using elements loyal to the most persecuted Hausa communities, depending on the Hausa, to rise to see how they are going to break away from the Fulani hegemony. They understand this very well now. But the problem is that now, the person that would have championed or successfully, support this ambition now, is battling seriously with the Buckingham Palace. That is prestigious, because they are the one that dictates. Let's still run a monarchical government in Britain. The French family are in charge. Who rules Britain? And they've told them that's what they want. And how government is going to negotiate that at the end of the day, that has become a serious problem. It was the same thing that made Nigeria to get to a point now that they have already sent signals that anything that has to do. See, it's a clear fact. The Islamization agenda is going. The Baltic government have told you that they are going to abolish anything that is possibly English language and enact Arabics. Nigerians will begin to speak Arabic. They have told you, and they're also bringing a bill that will dismantle anything that has to do with the gospel of Jesus Christ, Christianity in Nigeria. It is ongoing. So the problem is this now. The target is very clear. Dismantle the old Eastern Bloc. Break it. And they have successfully done that, I can tell you now. You can see the battle of identity everywhere within the old Eastern Bloc. The people that claim that they are from the Eastern Bloc are now trying to rewrite their own identity to favor those who have benefited from the caliphate over the years. They have become pioneers over the years. So, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is calculating very well. Let me tell you, yes, Obi is struggling to break away, but the article is more relaxed. Very fully well that there is going to be another form of political build-up or in the north that will not be able. See, that build-up you're seeing very clearly. Let me tell you about the build-up. The build-up of the caliphate will be transformed into a political structure that will be so giant that it will threaten the South and will lead to the collapse of what they in fact intend doing politically, because they have already fractured. What that clearly tells you that the 2027 is going to be a threat to both the North and the South. And how it's going to be a threat to both the North and the South is that if by any means the power slips off the southern Nigeria and go to the north, then Nigeria will break into two. And we'll have southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria battling for identity. And that is why you are seeing that the main blocks now are already on the race. I think it's mainly representing the North. Though it's very comfortable with that. Anything can happen at any day. And the last all, the South is structured. But the North does not want to paint the narrative that the North is structured. Because, and they have already silenced the Middle Belters. Threatening them with Sharia, threatening them, with conquest. Now they are all battling to survive politically and otherwise. So how do you think they are going to escape from this at the end of Nigeria will definitely, because the South, if it slips back to the North 2027, without a Southern president, Nigeria will break into two. Now, the question is, the Muslim ticket, has it not gotten to a point that it has lived its own time under Bola Ahmed Tinubu? But you can see, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is still struggling not to deviate from the instruction of the United Kingdom on the issue of. You don't know what transpired when Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited Buckingham Palace. You don't know what they discussed. So they came back again and still detained, even though it was very clear that some of the blocks in Nigeria were saying, no, we don't want this thing again. Please, it can pick a Christian Northerner. And people will say, okay, go pick Dogara, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, to balance the secular structure in Nigeria. But he never did, because he felt that if he didn't do that line, it might have offended the British agenda on Nigeria.
Based on all of these things that you have explained now, and looking at the way it is going, that if this thing slips from the southern, from Tinubu, and does not even get to Peter Obi as it stands, don't you see an uprising of like 1966, like the way we are hearing and speculations, and going back to the days and the days that transpired about Agui-Rossi?
Yes, we will not pray that this thing will not begin to lead to, because if it slips from the hand of either the mission or commission, the Fulani North, the political North can do anything. If it slips from Ahmed Tinubu's hand and return to the North, it just means there is going to be a serious uprising from the South. From the southern part of the country, because they are going to protest over it. And this thing now, just like what you said, will take us back again to start discussing what actually led to the killing of people like Umundape Johnson, Agui-Rossi. Of course, who anniversary was, came up about a few days ago. This is the first Nigerian military head of state, the first Igbo general, and become a top military general even before Nigerian independence. So he was picked based on merit. He did not become general under Nigeria. He became general under the merit of his antecedents and hard work and military career before independence. I've been the top, head within the military structure and hierarchy. That was how he marked as the first Nigerian military head of state. But today it was not being celebrated. And the US is not being celebrated. Because the conspiracy that led to his assassination was covered because the British government does not want it to be exposed. Then we keep on thinking that even at that point, you can see subsequently we have IBB coup. It was not an Igbo coup. It was not tagged as an Igbo coup. We have Buhari's coup. It was not tagged as a northern coup. You know, we have Abacha and the rest of them. Nobody tagged it a northern coup. Then, so it became very clear. Nigeria doesn't want to hear anything, but I can tell you that the record will not take it away. That the Igbo people are perpetrators in this country. We set the pace. There are no two ways about it. His legacies are the first military head of state, the first Igbo general, became a general even before Nigeria became independent. That was why he was appointed and made Nigerian first military head of state. So likely, for what is being played out now, you know, there's a possibility that uprising might start from the south in protest by power. Because I'm telling you now, you know, government did not make it very easy for the Northerners. If you look at the federal appointment from the beginning to the end, it is totally lopsided. Totally lopsided. So on that note now, driving Obi agenda is a suicide mission. I can tell you that. Driving Obi agenda, P2P agenda, is a suicide mission. Nigerians are tired of the structure that created Nigeria, and that is why they are talking about who is going to liberate us. The action of picking an Igbo man to liberate Nigeria did not come out of will, it did come out of oppression. As simple as that. Everybody is battling now. All of a sudden, we just noticed that from 160, 80 naira per litre to 1,400 in less than 3 years or thereabouts. But Nigerians are not complaining. You know, they have chosen it to be, an understanding that my brother is there and we don't need to go to court. And that is the fact. So the whole thing is dancing towards that direction. But there's going to be a lot of political betrayal at this point in time. And that is why I'm telling you that the South, the so-called South that they created, there's confusion there already. You know, anything that will make them to think alike now. The Ejo is battling at the Bini Kingdom. The Bini Kingdom is battling Ejo. The crisis of identity. Abibo, Adobibo. They also they went afford. There is something now that is having, you know, structural identity apart from the Eastern Nigeria. There's not go to the north. Go to Middle Belt. Even in the west. So on that note now, you became very clear that, you know, they are driving a force. They are driving a force, and few beneficiaries people have benefited from this now are the one that's coming out to tell you now that you should vote for this, vote for that, without asking questions. Look at the Nigerian pastor. What did he say? That instead of them to ban preaching in Nigeria, he is already calling for division. The same thing that led to Agri-Inosis deaths. The same thing that led to the Nigerian Biafra war. The same thing that led Mazenam the Kano to Sokoto. The only problem the entire Nigerian political structure have is how to get an Igbo man to bend to Islamization agenda. That is the problem. And this forget too, the entire resources in Biafra land are being used to address all the problems in the north. Then I ask you, how is it that the north that have ruled more than 100 years became the poverty capital of Nigeria? Have no beggars. That's the question. You need to ask yourself, what kind of empowerment do they do? When you say that charity has become an empowerment, charity is different from empowerment. Necessity is the mother of invention, and that is why you are seeing today that the Igbo nation devises a means of survival, and because they know that Nigeria is not created for them. The way Nigeria is being structured, even though was not factored into the structure of existence in Nigeria. And what did the woman do? After looking at everything, that his own brothers, they are denying him. His own brothers are denying him. Does he have support? Okay, compare the so-called South with the fucking what they think they have. Compare them with the poor Eastern Nigeria in terms of GDP. So there's a big difference. They sat down. After everything had been stripped from them, they begin to do what? Empowerment. But in the north, they do charity. Now tell me, who is holding Nigeria hostage? The Sharia law does not encourage civilization, does not encourage ambition, and that is why they are doing charity in the north. And you want somebody who is advanced secularly to be subjected to this thing, to what we are witnessing at this point. Well, it is not going to be very funny to watch Bola Tinubu either by omission or by commission. Let's go and slip from the south back to the north.